And the ceiling's about 35 foot tall. The largest room, the ceiling's about 120 foot tall, so it'd be almost 4 of these rooms stacked. But that is a way younger part of the cave, and this is the oldest, so dry longer, you get more formation, so it's way more decorated here. I'll kind of go over those so we know what we're looking at today.
Man, you ever heard of Josh Gates?
Josh Gates.
Expedition Unknown?
Man, he...
That are sulfuric acid, this is carbonic acid, and they are so hot, you have to wear like air-conditioned suits because the water in that cave, like here it's 58, there it simmers.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, but they get, you know what gypsum crystals are? They get them the size of trees.
Holy
like,
cow.
I've seen pictures of dudes walking on them, like not crossing their feet.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and they only form in those sulfuric caves. But this one is called a solutional cave because it's a solution of carbonic acid that made everything. So I'll kind of go from like the beginning of the process of cave forming until what we're looking at. So about, I believe it was 320 million years ago, you have the Mississippian era. Everything then was a shallow ocean in the southeastern United States, and that ocean floor was limestone. And we're in limestone right now. So that's also why like all of our fossils are filter feeders, bottom feeders, stuff like that. But basically everything was fine and dandy. You're having all those layers formed, then you get cracks and fissures in the ground. Water will start to seep into it, but the pressure is so tight, it makes the water pick up CO2, making it that carbonic acid. And that dissolves calcium, which is basically all limestone is. So it's going to drip through the cracks, like right here, until it hits open air for formations. So the CO2 is leaving, and that makes it non-acidic. The minerals leave from behind the water after that. Basically, you have a droplet, and it's like if you're eating Cheerios and you're at your last few, they're going to float around the edge of the bowl. The minerals float around the edge of the droplet. So these guys are called soda straws. They're actually so thin you could breathe or drink through them if they were broken off.
Get out of here.
Yeah, so it's like opposite of a tree. The rings are going to go towards the center until it's a pinhole that water can't fit through anymore. Then it drips on the outside, and that makes a stalactite. So there's like a progression here of like a soda straw right there, and then it's starting to drip around it, and now that one's a stalactite.
That's so neat.
Yeah. But before you get any of these guys, basically, you know, a solid ground is going to carve out a big opening, still full of water, still acidic water. We're in the oldest part. The water then we've been trying to drain to where we now do the wild cave tours. But the ceiling, whenever this was full of water, would have been about that level and completely flat all the way towards us. The water pressure kept it that way. And then it drains into that younger part. The ceiling's going to cave in, which is a good thing. It's called breakdown. Puts the weight on the walls instead of the ceiling. But every one of these boulders on the ground, they used to be on the ceiling. And these two guys are over 200 tons each.
Wow.
So if you don't see big old formations on top of boulders and you're in a room in a cave, you don't want to be in that room.
Say it again to me.
So like these formations lets us know these boulders haven't moved in thousands of years, so we know it's been stable. So basically if you see no formations in a flat ceiling but the room's big, you don't want to be in there.
Because the ceiling could fall.
Yeah,
Well,
we
how do you
have
know that, bro?
on that map spots that are marked with skulls and crossbones. And
So
that
you
means
can't
right
go
there.
there.
We plan on finding some caves and...
Oh, around here you can literally just go hiking.
And find caves.
Yeah, that's how I got into it. I was hiking with my buddy because we were raft guys, but in the wintertime the river shut down. And he wouldn't go in the caves with me. So he told me to apply here to like meet people to go
Right.
caving with.
Heck yeah.
That's
Yeah.
so cool.
But like
Freaking
those
awesome.
bats on the pictures, I would go into like just a little 15-foot long crawl and see like 3 of them.
Oh,
I've
man,
seen one
that'd
in
be so
every
cool.
little hole I got into.
That's
around
really
here.
neat.
Yeah, they're not really that rare, but they're super cool looking. They're also called tricolored bats. If they open their wings, their like arms, the skeleton is black. Their wings are pink, and they have a light brown body.
Oh,
wow.
cool.
Yeah. But so for these formations, up top on the ceiling, we got stalactites. They hang tight to the ceiling. And then on the ground are stalagmites. So a stalagmite will form with a little bit quicker drip than a stalactite because it carries those minerals to the ground and leaves behind a pile.
Okay.
And over time, it'll just get bigger and bigger. And they can meet in the middle. Sometimes we can see exactly where that happens. Sometimes we can't, so it's kind of hard to tell exactly how it formed or where it would have met up. But there is a big uniform one right here, and we've dated that column. It's about 500,000 years old, and the average rate of growth here is just a cubic inch every 100 years. So like a visualization of that is like just bending your pointer finger. That'll be a cubic inch every 100 years.
Wow.
But there are parts of our cave that form faster than that. There's one part forming over 24 times the average. You can hear it right now, the really loud drip over there.
Yeah, I was, while ago,
Yeah.
I didn't know if that was a stream or what.
So, yeah, it's just a solid drip going to a big pool of water. But there is, they think, an underground stream basically above the cave, below the surface. Adds water to here, but then you can't measure how or when or how much or anything is coming into the cave. Alright, but we can go up these stairs over here now. And make sure y'all watch your step. It'll be a little bit slippery.
Could you imagine, like, back in the days, people that lived in caves like this and shit?
I could not.
That'd be wild.
I mean, people still live in caves, love.
Very true, very true, very true.
Maybe not around here.
And the humidity here is like 95%. It would take a long time and you would have to be in here a lot. But if you were to breathe in air like this, your lungs get waterlogged. So
So you
not
get
very
pneumonia
good.
and stuff like that?
Yeah, and if it gets extreme and you're in here like 24/7 for I believe like 3 months, and then you walk outside and breathe that really dry air, it's called paper lung because your lungs will tear like wet paper.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but humans can never really adapt to a cave situation with the lack of light. After 2 weeks, your pupils will dilate so much your retina's exposed, and then any source of light, even a match, would burn them,
Eyes.
and you're blind permanently and forever.
Damn.
And then also, 3 weeks in you lose your circadian rhythm, so you don't know if you're asleep or awake because dreams and reality will mesh.
Because you don't have the setting and rising of the sun?
Yeah, it is.
So you won't know if you're asleep or not.
No.
Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of the weirdest thing I would be weirded out by. But like the Chilean miner incident, they were trapped for 69 days, so they even got muscle atrophy from
Oh,
not being
wow.
able to move around. So like every week you're in there for the eyesight thing and the circadian rhythm. It's like a month of recovery for the week. But then if you have atrophy, that's
Yeah.
even longer, a lot more
Right.
rehab.
So somebody was trapped down here?
No, not
Not
in
in
here.
this
This
one.
was a Chilean miner incident in Chile.
Oh.
Yeah, it was quite a few years ago. I think like early mid 2000s.
Oh, I think I remember.
They made a
hearing
movie
about
about it. Yeah, it's called The 61. It's actually a pretty cool movie.
I'm going to have to watch that. The
The
61.
61.
Oh, I heard of it.
Yeah. But Leo Lambert, so we only knew this room, so his tour kept skirting the wall this way. The Smith brothers were nice and blasted out with dynamite for us over here, because what they went through to go back there was this tiny little hole that's on the top right.
Oh my gosh. It's a little one.
Yeah, so that's not even the tightest one you go through on that route. You go through there, like 2 of us could fit, and you're in a small room. And then you go through a hole that's 13 inches wide and 7.5 inches tall, which is about the length of my flashlight. So it's not very comfortable.
Right.
Yeah, you're gonna use what's called the push-pull method to do anything that tight.
That's right.
So you de-gear, like helmet, cave pack off, throw it ahead of you. Then you're gonna wiggle in, but first like head to the side, one arm up, get real thin, and you exhale completely. Your buddy's gonna grab your ankles and shove you through real hard and fast. But you gotta exhale because it's so tight it shoves your rib cage in, so your diaphragm can't be expanded.
I gotta lose about 40 or 50 pounds.
Yeah. And right now it's tighter than when they did it
That's
because
crazy.
of the formations getting
Yeah.
bigger.
So they went that way.
Mm-hmm. And like you can't be pulled backwards either because your ribs
Your
pop
ribs,
back
yeah.
out, and then you can't be pulled backwards, so that's why it's push pull. So I don't have Crisco. We'll just walk around this today.
Don't have any Crisco.
But I believe the Smith brothers were about like 6'2", 220, and
Oh,
they did that.
We ain't that much of a difference. Yeah, I'm telling you, next time I need you to have that KY on you, bro.
You're so silly. I was going to say, make sure you duck, Jay.
And that's the other side of it where they would have crawled out from. So the really short part isn't very long, but it's about this tall. It's about 7.5 inches if you punch out those soda straws.
That's a tight squeeze.
Yeah, and then just put up a ruler and add the edge, it'd be the same.
Oh man.
Hey, man,
Uh-huh.
I want that, I just want that experience, you know?
Oh, it is cool, and like I feel like everybody's been in a confined enough space, but you can like if it's man-made stuff, you can kind of flex and you'll feel it give a little bit. I've tried that, and I mean it's solid rock. It feels really weird to like push on something and then
No.
nothing
It not
happen.
move.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Right. So this right here is our little wishing well. The Smith brothers built it because there was a tradition in Europe of having this in a cave. They thought the cave would add good luck. So it's pretty bad for a cave system though. Adding a bunch of minerals in here. You can still see a bunch of green from the copper. We have made it habitable now. About 15 years ago, drained the water and replaced everything the water touched. So it made it good for the salamanders now. Beforehand, the copper was getting in their mucus. and
Making
stuff
them
like that.
sick.
So what are y'all allowing people to throw in there? What is that?
Those are little aquarium stones. They did like a field trip with kids and let them do it.
Oh,
But we had to sanitize that, their hands, and make them
Right.
wear gloves. So
Oh, wow.
too much of a hassle.
Right.
But you can really see the memory nature has. This should be a hub for salamanders, but they still don't come here. But they only live 3 to 4 years. They shouldn't even know this used to be bad. But they communicate from cellular memory. So basically, the adults found out this is bad. They have offspring, and their offspring are born knowing that fact and how and why to avoid it.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it's kind of like genetics, but really, really strong. We also have it just to a different degree, but there have been instances where people got major organ transplants and had dreams of the person they got the
I've heard
organ
that.
from. But also here we're 15 foot below the surface. We'll lose like 10 or 15 feet in elevation, but we get 170 foot below because the mountain peak will rise as we kind of walk a little bit towards the center. But y'all make sure you watch your head right here on the right. That's where it's going to be low at.
Just how it forms too. Watch the right side, Jay.
No, right?
I see. Oh, you want me? Go ahead.
And here's a little baby slimy salamander.
Oh. It's so little. And they
Yeah.
get as big as your flashlight?
Mm-hmm. Like 7 or 8 inches long.
That's crazy.
Is it dead?
No,
No.
we just moved a second
Just don't
ago.
step on them.
Okay, so I was making sure. I didn't wanna take
You let him live.
I think they're cutest in about a month because they barely get any bigger, but their eyes need to form the fastest. So they have like adult-sized eyes and they're just bugging out. Here's a little bit better view of one. He's running away though.
Hello, buddy.
So those guys love this area because their food hangs out here. All these crickets on the wall up here. You can see one
What
right
is
here.
that?
Oh, that's a cave salamander that's down in there.
That long tail?
Mm-hmm. Oh, this? No,
Oh,
this
no,
is
that's
a
a
cord.
wire.
The cave salamander's in here.
Oh.
You see his tail?
Oh, okay, yeah. I thought y'all was talking about this. I said, man, that looks like it's a phone.
That's a hell of a tail.
Definitely cave cricket.
Oh, some people jump because they think it's a snake or something.
But there can't be a snake down here, right?
We'll find ringnecks sometimes. They crawl in.
There's
right
another
here. There's
baby.
an entrance, so they'll sneak in sometimes, but they don't really have food to eat. So we try to carry them out because they won't live long in here.
It's a what now?
Like a ringneck snake, it looks like a big worm. They're only like this big. Like I found one on the campground one day, and I just had it on my hand. He was just crawling around my hand for like half an hour.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
For sure.
And also in this system, we have a pretty massive lizard. The entrance in here is like the size of a softball, so he can't fit through it. He's kind of been stuck in this room. It's our big iguana head right here. Oh, yeah,
That does look
Holy
like a
shit.
iguana.
behind
It
him.
does, don't it?
Right, like a little eye and a beard.
Yeah, I got the beard on him and all.
He been stuck in here for so long, he done petrified.
So these crickets are actually eaten right now. All this white speckly stuff on the wall is called actinomyces, and it's a bacteria that's growing in here, and that's their food source. Also, you can take it in the lab and make amoxicillin. Yeah, so if y'all got anything bacterial, you can just take a lick. Yeah, that's why we're doing everything here. There is some more in the ceiling. Like this isn't actinomyces; it's the same species, different family. But like this stuff reflects a diamond white light back towards you. This one does like a golden light. So if there wasn't these spotlights washing it out and you're walking around the cave system with like a headlamp, it's really cool. You'll see a bunch of stuff sparkling back at you.
That's really neat. I kind of see it sparkling a little.
Just a little
Yeah, you
bit.
can kind of see the boom.
And here's some tiny little crickets if you want to see them up closely. Their antennas are already pretty long for their size.
They are long.
Sometimes, like, they don't jump for nothing because they can't see going through the air. So I'll be on wild caves and, like, straight up flick their antennas. They don't move.
They can't even tell, huh?
No, sometimes they have missing legs, and it's because they only jump when their life is in jeopardy. So, like, a salamander grabbed its leg and it jumped away, and a salamander kept the leg.
Okay.
And there's another little guy right here.
So, bro, I gotta ask.
Mm-hmm.
Did you learn all this within the year you've been working here?
Yeah, I knew a little bit about turbidity from being a raft guide, but rivers like that are all erosion. So it works
Don't
quite a
step on
bit
that little guy.
differently.
Okay, I see it, I see it.
But yeah, I learned everything about this stuff like since I've been working here. We have a few guys that are geology majors, like going for their doctorates. So they help out a lot,
Geology would
too.
be my second major.
Yeah, I think I would have to choose speleology, like that's the study of just caves.
Oh, look at that.
I
Yeah.
did not know that was a thing.
Oh yeah, if you do geology, you're not really gonna deal with caves a whole lot, to be honest.
Is that the mineral that?
So that is fresh calcite. It's the same thing as this formation, just right put down. At first it's super white because of all the calcium in it, and then it sparkles when it's oxidizing because it is a crystal. And then it normally takes on a sandy red color because of all the iron in the mountain. So the second most prevalent mineral in calcite will shine through. Sometimes we see black, and that's because of manganese. If you see bluish, like a Tar Heel blue, it's because of magnesium.
Mm.
Watch y'all's head right here. You can kind of see it sparkling a little bit.
This is cool too.
It's almost like glitter.
Yeah. So the crystal, or the Crystal Palace room, he walked in the middle of summer and everything was sparkling like glitter.
Oh,
So that's why I called
man.
it that.
The Crystal Palace room.
And right here, there's a kind of neat thing because these two guys are still a stalactite and mite, and you can see in their shadow they're not touching yet. So because it takes 100 years for a cubic inch, you don't normally see one that becomes another formation in your lifetime. But in about 30 years, this eighth of an inch will close up. So we can all come back then and be like, back in my day.
That wasn't even together yet. Is this a natural pool?
No, this is like a little dam that the Smith brothers built because the water ran back pretty good. But there is a lot of manganese in the water, and that's on the back of mirrors to make them reflect more. So you can see the formations come back like really well.
Oh yeah, you see the white, green, how it all just changes color
Very
blue.
pretty.
And then even the ripples will come off on the wall too.
Wow.
Oh man, did you get that? That is
still
so
ticking.
cool.
And then also if y'all want to, I got a kill switch for the lights. If you want to see how dark it would get.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, for real, for real.
Alrighty, I'll flip that off right now.
Turn the stupid thing.
Alright.
Oh man.
Yeah, so this is the
So if
darkest
you
you
don't
could
have no
ever
light.
get. We already talked about the miner's eye and everything like that. But on wild cave tours, we do this too. Just click the headlamps off, and especially with like Boy Scouts and stuff, they just talk and talk.
Yeah.
So I'll post up with a hole between my feet, and I know it well enough to do it blind. So I'll dive through it and come out behind them and spook them a little bit, and turn it back on. Yeah, it's a little too fun.
I love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, y'all knowing about miners and I and everything. Good luck in here.
If you guys can make it, we'll see you.
All right, watch your head here. It is a slow decline.
We're willing to give you a 15% discount for the inconvenience.
So this right here is the exit from those wild cave tours. You'd be ending it there.
Get back here so bad.
We use red to make it look inviting.
Bro, I think we're gonna have a good week up here this week.
Oh yeah, I love this area. It seems like y'all do like doing stuff outdoors. You can do literally everything outdoors here. And sometimes little critters will get in here too. I mean, I'm sure you know what that is. Those are raccoon
Raccoons.
footprints. Yeah.
Is that where it got Raccoon Mountain?
Evidently, Native Americans walked the chain of 3 mountains. Thought it looked like a raccoon. So that's where it came from. But technically, we're inside of Etna Mountain right now. They renamed them just so, like, you know, people know where they're going. But nobody calls them anything but Raccoon Mountain. But yeah, those guys don't stay in here long. They don't really have anything to eat or really conducive to the environment. Watch your step here. This is pretty wet, but this used to be a big old waterfall back in the day.
Oh, I wish it still was rolling down, bro. I'd love to walk right through it.
If you do one of those crawling tours at some point, if you come back, we have mudslides in there.
Oh, yeah.
I'll go waist deep. If I'm like, I'll take a few big steps and like jump on it.
Yeah.
I gotta get shoes out of there, kids.
I love it.
Shoes,
Yeah.
kid. So when are y'all opening that back up, bro?
I'm not really sure. It kind of depends on the COVID situation and everything.
That's something,
And
man, COVID really messed a bunch of... Oh,
Yeah.
man, tell me y'all get to crawl back there.
So we'll crawl through this entrance. That's my favorite one, actually. We call it the mail slot. And you can see that shadow that my light's casting. You know, it's because my light's not penetrating the wall behind that ledge. So if you're in a cave and you don't know the area, you know that's a drop. You just don't know how far yet. So you know to be careful at least.
Right.
That Smith Brothers crawl, because you can see them on walls and tops of a crawl too. That's a good thing because it means that's where it opens up. So that's what they saw. It's not like they went in this dangerous method
Right.
of crawling, not knowing that they were going to be okay.
Bro, I mean, just between us, how much trouble would I get in to just crawl right there and look?
I mean, if you really want to, I'll say nothing.
Feels like clay.
Oh yeah, we're a red clay state. So pretty
And the drop off.
Yeah, and here it's just, I think it's funny because kids will make figurines and stuff, but the humidity's so high.
A cave. Isn't that cool?